All right, Mike, let me know when you're ready.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right, Mike, let me know when you're ready.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome, everybody. We're live.
Now, anybody in chat, you get bonus points if you know what cartoon that the Hey, Hey, Hey came from.
I do.
Well, and you get double bonus points if you know the name of the person who did the voice in the cartoon.
Oh, shit.
Now, please keep in mind the points mean nothing.
I already have the answer.
So
I know I got the answer to the first one because I was saying when you said it. I followed it through. But yeah, I don't know the bloke's name.
I do.
Who?
Fat Albert.
Hey, it's Fat Albert.
Yeah, but who did the voice?
Yeah, what's
that
his
I
name?
don't know.
Yeah, see? I had the first part. And we have that master chef, Truck and Travis answered first. Bill
Yeah. C.S. Ballou and Simon have it absolutely right. It was Bill Cosby.
Cosby, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Travis was first on the Fat Albert.
Want to say howdy out there to that master chef, Truck and Travis. Y'all, he's got a YouTube channel too. He shows you how us drivers cook in the truck. And he does some pretty good recipes. And it didn't occur to me last time you could actually cook what he cooks in the truck. You can do it at the house. So y'all got a chance and interested, go check his channel out. Who else we got out there, Steve?
Oh, let's have a look. I see Ronnie, see the Master Chef Truckin', Sub Vapes, Simon Atherton's in the house, CS Blue. Who else we got coming in? Dennis J's in the house. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys.
Absolutely. And as you all can see, we got a new person on the panel with us tonight. Patrick, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. A little stressed, but I think I'll get over it.
You're right.
You stressed about being on a show?
Yeah, it's the first time being live.
No stress, man. Like you said, we just have a good time. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, though, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How long you been mixing?
I would say around 3 years.
Around 3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And you are part of the Helping Mixers Facebook group as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to turn this into a commercial, but I will.
That's okay.
The link to that group is in the chat, y'all, if y'all want to join. But Patrick reached out for a little bit of help, and we started a mentorship program in the group. When you go into the group, right at the bottom of the picture, there'll be a button that says mentorship. Click on that and you can join to either help people out or get help from other people. Patrick has done that, and it so happens that his mentor is on the panel tonight also. Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
So I haven't worked with anybody on that. How's that working? Or how does it work?
It's pretty cool because it sort of walks you through everything. Like, it gave us both Messenger, and then after we had talked, after 3 days, it said, okay, it's been 3 days, now set an objective, and which we haven't done that quite yet, but yeah, I just read that this morning, but yeah, I don't know what'll come after that, but it seems like it's whatever software it is, it works pretty well.
That's cool. I know there's a couple people using it. I think Goose Girl's using it with somebody, and then you and Patrick. So yeah, I saw that option and I thought that it would come in handy.
I think it's useful.
Yeah.
It's a great way to just keep track of things.
It sort of urges you to do this and that, you know, and it's like, yeah, it keeps you from forgetting about things and stuff.
Right. Right. My only issue was like when I checked on it, there was one person waiting for somebody to be mentored, and that turned out to be Patrick, but Patrick was already working with you.
Oh, it still showed, huh?
So there's a little lag there. So if y'all are asking for help and you get contacted by two people, then I guess you get a choice. This worked out for Patrick because I don't have a lot of time doing what I do, especially not now. So you're aware, Aaron, that it's a deer hunting season, right?
Yep. I seen a buck today at work. He was minus one antler though.
Really? I got a small buck Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, it was with my truck.
Oh.
I was just about to ask that.
The only deer I ever killed, it was on horseback. I think I was 10 or 12 years old. We were on this big horse riding trail, and it's something with horses. If you start to get close to the barn or close to where they know they're going home, they'll take off on you. They'll try to run you underneath tree limbs and knock you off, you know. And the bit that, you know, you used to control the horse with wasn't working. So my horse just ran these deer out into the road, and just so happened, I know Kentucky's a small town, but it was my aunt driving by and she hit it.
Right. I think this deer thought that he was in Texas because he stood his ground.
Oh shit.
I did everything. See, we can't swerve to miss animals because with the heavy loads, right, we could go off the road or turn the truck over, whatever else. So you're supposed to slow down and move to one side to give the deer a chance to get out of the way. He wasn't having nothing to do with it. So.
Oh dear.
So how you been this week, Stalker?
Yeah, not too bad. I was a bit ill at the beginning of the week, but yeah, I'm pulling up all right, getting ready to do some mixing, waiting for flavours to get out of bloody quarantine or customs or whatever the hell these bloody idiots are doing. Got a few new mods in. Got the Aegis X in. I got it in the red. I also got the Aegis Squonk in. That changes colour. It goes green and blue. And got the Solo. So the only one I'm missing is the original one. I'm going to have to hit Simon up. He said he's got a he's got a couple down there. So, and yeah, we got roos all over the highway there, Graham.
Which
Dead on the side of the road.
which one was the original?
The one that took the 26 650.
Was it a single battery or double?
Single.
Single?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only one I'm missing.
I can't use anything that's single. Now maybe a 21-700 I could use a single and last for a while.
Yeah.
The single 18650, I just go through them like crazy.
This was 26-650 or 18650. It had an adapter that you could put on it.
Well, I was going to use that.
21. That should last all day at work anyway, I would think.
I bought the Solo just for flavor testing, testing recipes.
Nice.
Did anybody else have a flavor to talk about this week?
I've got a couple of questions about a couple of flavors because I want to change up the recipe we made up the other week. But we'll go through the rest of the panel first.
Yeah. Aaron and Steve or Patrick, do you all have Flavora Blood Orange?
Yep.
Nope.
Do you, Aaron?
Mm-mm. I don't have any blood orange yet.
What do you think about that, Steve?
I haven't tried it yet. I played around with Flavor Art.
Oh, okay.
Blood
Okay.
orange, but not this one yet. But it smells nice.
It's a great orange. I don't get any throat hit from it. I like it between 1% and 2%. I don't know that it's a blood orange though. Right, for me, it's a little too bright to be a blood orange.
Yeah, it seems very orangey, like almost kind of like the orange zest is what I'm kind of picking up on a bit.
Right. And people have mentioned that they get zest out of it. I didn't notice it too much. But the way I fixed that for me, because remember, I've been playing around with flavors that I haven't used very much since I didn't have them in the truck. So I put 1% black currant from Flavora with 1.5 blood orange, 3/4 sweetener, and 3 1/4 vanilla gelato from TPA. It's a nice orange cream, but that black currant did a really good job of toning down the brightness of that blood orange. So it made it, I don't know. I think I prefer it with the black currant in it, personally.
Love black currant. That's one of my
favorites. Me too. I made sure to bring my Flavora flavors with me because I haven't played with them much, and it forces me to try to do all Flavora recipes, which for me has been really hard because you can use them so much lower when they're all Flavora. Yeah. Frank, Flavor West and Cap Sweet Tangerine is a good combination too.
Yeah, I just ordered that sweet tangerine too.
And Graham said 1/4% shisha orange in Awera. I didn't have that with me, so I couldn't use it. That's kind of a crutch for me, that shisha orange. I love it.
Oh yeah, I got a hold of that one. Yeah.
I've got it's a good orange, right?
Orange, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been playing around this week, Steve? Anything?
Yeah, been goofing around with a few things going on as far as some chocolate, working on some chocolates, and then goofing around with a bunch of other ideas as far as recipes were concerned. So, trying to develop some things going on. But let me see. bring up the old list. So yeah, I was trying to do one with chocolate and orange because that one seems to kind of elude me. So I was trying to do like a chocolate covered orange cookie kind of idea, playing around with that. Uh, I found a couple of other recipes that really interest me. One was a Chico stick. I loved those when I was a kid. Man, I ate the piss out of those things. So somebody out there's done that one. So I've got to try that out. And another one is Mr. Burgundy's Toasted, which is a cereal vape that I'm highly interested in. Been playing around with some peanut butter milk and cookies. So yeah, I've got a few ideas that I've been trying to run with and playing around with. One of them is more of a tropical kind of styled one with pineapple, peach, and mango. So playing around with that combo to kind of see how that works out. Yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Let's let's go back to the cereal. You just released a cereal recipe this week, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. So Fruity Loops. Um, that is bang on Fruit Loops. You'd swear you just poured yourself a bowl of it and you're sitting down and just eating it. It is so accurate. It's not even funny. Yeah, so if there's anybody out there that can mix that up, that wants to mix that up and give it a go, let me know. I think Zippy said that she was going to try it, that she had mixed it up. She was just draining off one of her tanks before she filled it up with that. So yeah, that'd be interesting to get some feedback on it and everything because it's been my all-day bake now, in the rotation anyway since I made it, and it's pretty damn spot on.
Right. You want to drop that link in the chat?
Will do.
How about you, Aaron? What you been doing, bud?
I've been trying to come up with a profile for Halloween because our show happens to fall on that next Thursday. I was you remember those peanut butter, I guess it's like peanut butter taffy, the orange and black wrappers?
Yeah.
I was trying to do those and when I put it together, it tasted really good, but it tasted exactly like Nutter Butter, those cookies.
Yeah.
Except so I threw some sugar cookie in to give it, the cookie weight and texture, and got it steeping for next week's show. It tasted pretty good off the shake. I'm curious to see how long the peanut butter is going to stay. It'll be.
I'd be okay with a Nutter Butter though. To be honest, that's probably one of my favorite cookies.
No, mine too. I miss those.
BTA honeycomb mixed with the peanut butter. It's pretty good.
I wanted to
welcome
Smokey in the house.
Yeah, welcome, Smokey.
Hi, Smokey.
Now, Stalker, you wanted to talk about something with ELR for a little bit.
Yeah, just going to show the new mixers how you can adjust your recipes, because where's my mouse gone? It's disappeared on me. My mouse died. There we go. It's back again. Just how to change recipes when you find one and you want to add some stuff to it. Just I can't even find what I'm after. Because that recipe I made up, that sweet, I did stuff up. I put the super sweet up too high. Where are we? Share screen.
Super sweet turns into super shit.
Yeah, it was a typo. Is that sharing?
Screen hasn't come through yet. You got a black screen there. You have dual monitors there?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's probably not on the right screen or shared on the right screen. Try to move the browser around to different windows and see what happens, or share it again.
I'm curious from Smokey in the chat. What do you use Flavora's blood orange at? Because I just suggested 1 to 2%, and I'm sure that's incorrect. But that's where I like it.
It's just telling me to upgrade every time I go to share.
Oh, it popped up there for a bit. It's there. And then there you go. You're good.
Oh, it's there. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, leave
It's
it there real quick. Just wait. It's got to catch up on the live.
No, it's showing me something else on the screen. Yeah. That's not the one I want. This is the one. This one. Yeah, well, I've adjusted the super sweep back down. I'm actually going to take that out. You go up here and click on the spanner, and you adapt this. It takes you this window. That's where you change all the strengths. I change that to 20, nicotine to 3. Now I want to take the super sweet out, so I change that to 0. Now, what do you guys think of this vape train fizzy sherbet?
Oh, love some fizzy sherbet. That's great. Great citrus notes. Very nice.
And we're suggesting 2%.
You can. I think you can go with that, or you could cut it down to 1.5% and then work it up as you need.
Yeah, I like that idea.
How much of that lemony note do you want in your final recipe?
Well, I want it to be like a we call it sherbet. What do you Yanks call it? Stevohhh, what do they call sherbet over there? You know that powdered stuff?
Oh, you're talking about like pixie stick, kind of that kind of.
Yeah, we just call it sherbet. It's a powder.
Yeah, right.
If you want that, you need to probably go back up to 2 at least.
Yep.
The other stuff in there.
Well, not 152. It's 2. Because Simon's told me to use some of this acid stuff, but that's not on this list at the moment. I'm still trying to work on this list to get a couple of recipes up for the new mixers. Well, I'm a new mixer as well. What about another bit of dragon fruit or something to help that strawberry?
The lemon in the fizzy sherbet is going to help your strawberries out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, lemon helps.
That'll help your strawberry and your blueberry.
You think we should put another strawberry now? We can use strawberry TFA or sweet strawberry Capella, or do you think that's going to be good like that?
You could try it like that, and if you don't think that you've got enough of it coming through, then you can definitely boost it with another, sweet strawberry. But I mean, see what you get off of it going like that, because you've got a bit going on with lemon, strawberry, and blueberry and everything like that. So
yeah, well, I was even thinking that maybe dropping out the blueberry or something. Well, I might make that up, and I might drop a blueberry out and throw in some strawberry on another mix. Yeah, well, once you've done all that, you've got your flavours in, you just go down. And here it says this is a private recipe. This won't get released straight up. But if you want, you just go up here. And you can change the name. I'll call this V2. I'll make this public. And click on save. And when it wakes up and does it, it'll give. There you go. It's all saved. It got rid of the super sweet, and it's got everything in there. So I'll mix that up after the show. Oh yeah, and I'll change this link as well. But
Cool.
yeah, I just yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I was click on that wrench button. Okay. And you all see where it says adjust total flavor percentage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
When for the new people, right? When you mix a recipe and there's too much or not enough flavor, right? If you want to keep the same kind of profile but adjust it for you, right? This is where you adjust. Okay, so if he changes that to 15, don't do it because it'll mess your recipe up. But if you change that to like 15, it's going to raise all of your flavors up in the increments, so the ratios between the flavors all stay the same.
Yeah, well, I can show them. That. Let's go. I'll go back. Yeah, well, that's it there. We've got 3.5 of the blueberry, 0.5 of the lemon, 2% of the Swisher strawberry, super sweets out of there, and vanilla swirl. And that went to the wrong one. But yeah, I'll show you on this one. Then you click on that. You go to adjust total percentage, and that one's at 7 because that was the original. Before you make, someone actually doubled it. So that would go to 14. Okay. And now that's adjusted everything to being 7% blueberry, 1% lemon, 4 shisha, and 2 of the vanilla swirl.
See, when I started, I didn't know about that, so I was physically trying to do the math on how to increase everything.
Yeah, so Liana's saying explain the flavor muting. When you run a flavor too high, basically, if you use too much flavoring, it can actually end up muting itself out. More flavoring doesn't equal, like a stronger flavor. It could actually end up just muting itself out the higher you run it up. Either that, or if you run a flavor higher than its recommended percentages, you could actually start to introduce off notes if it doesn't mute itself. So it kind of starts tasting like a little something else that you may or may not want. I have other mixers will take a certain flavor and they'll say, you know what, if I push this just a little bit higher than the recommended, I'm getting, X, Y, Z out of it. And that's exactly what I was looking to introduce into this recipe. So that might actually be something that you want to do, in certain circumstances and cases in a recipe where you actually might want to push it higher. But like I said, not all flavors work that way. You have to play around with them and have to work with them and see what you get once you push one of them past a certain percentage and see if it's starting to introduce any funky notes, any off notes, or even a different flavor altogether. A lot of flavorings will just end up muting themselves out.
Yeah, no, I only did the double one because someone down in the comments wrote that there was a bit, where was it? Yeah, he doubled it. He liked the recipe, 5 stars. He also doubled the percentage because 7% was too light for him. And it was just easy to go to 14. I just showed exactly what he did because it was in the comments there. I've done it once before on a chocolate recipe I had. I just went up 2% at a time.
Right.
I didn't just go straight up and double it. I tried it and I think it was, we'll say 7, and I went up to 9%. And it just adjusts everything equally up. So you still get, in theory, you get the same overall flavour. And yeah, it was the same. Nothing was muted out. It wasn't too bad.
Absolutely.
But I'll mix that recipe up after the show, and I'll talk about that one next week.
Sounds like a plan. How you doing, Goose Girl? Patrick, what advice would you have for a new mixer just starting out? What's something that you wish that you knew then that you know now but you didn't when you started?
When I first started, that's a hard question. The first thing would be to choose a good mix, something interesting, something simple like strawberry and cream. You need to find the right cream. You need to find the right strawberry, and you start with that. That would be the best advice I could give. Find a good recipe that a lot of people tried, and there is good feedback on it. And after that, don't get uh, don't get a bottle like that for a first flavor. That's nonsense. Get a small bottle if you like it. Go bigger. If you don't like it, you're gonna stay with it forever. Um, get a digital scale so that way you don't. Because when I first started, I've noticed that I was getting flavors into other different bottles,
Right.
and there were some flavors that came out to be horrible. So now I mix everything off a scale, and it's better that way. And everybody does it that way anyway. So why not spend? I think I spend $10. I have a small scale. I'm doing my mix, but that don't go too big when you purchase. Review. There's a lot of review online. Watch a lot of them. Taste is subjective, so someone may taste something, you won't taste the same thing, and go towards something that's familiar to you. Don't get too much excited right away and do something complicated. There's some big chances that you won't like it. And
Aaron, somebody that's just starting out to make recipes for themselves, how would you tell them to go about it?
I would do like I did, like Patrick said, either ATF or ELR, and figure out what profile you want. With me, I was trying to clone something, which probably wasn't the best thing to try to do right off the bat.
Correct.
Found something that was vapable, to start off with. But yeah, I did the syringes back in the day, and too much cleaning up. I do use it for nicotine. I do everything else by weight, though. But yeah, you could cross-contaminate the bottle. Yeah. And like Patrick said, they're so cheap now, too. I think for the, 501 LB or whatever, I think it was like $25. It's not too bad. And it's lasted 4 years so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, with some flavors, I don't know. It depends on how cheap it is. Like if a 10 mil is going to cost you $3, but 120 mil will cost you $7. Depending, if it's something like, okay, I really like blueberry, it might be worth paying the $7 just to have, 12 times, or 10 times that amount.
Well, I could see that. I don't know if I would do that as a first time buying my flavors though, because what if you bought, I don't know, strawberry ripe from TFA and all you tasted was dirt?
Right.
Or
like pepper from the ice cream.
Yeah. I mean, now you got 120 mils of flavor that you're not going to use.
I got 120 mils of TFA coffee.
Yeah. I think those are all important things to tell people. You don't have to have all the flavors right this moment. Start off with a small selection. Nobody wants to hear it, but I still suggest that people single flavor test their flavors. especially when you start out. That's the only way that you're going to know. Like if you take 3 things that you've never used before and put them in a bottle and you don't like part of it, you have no idea if it's the combination that you don't like or if it's one of the 3 things that you put in the bottle. So had you tested them, as boring as that gets, I still do it. I still single flavor test stuff. I go back and single flavor test stuff that I forgot what I tasted. So don't be like me. Try to keep some kind of notes, and there's no right way or wrong way to keep notes. Just something that when you read it, you understand what it means. I mean, if you taste TFA strawberry ripe and you write down my dog has fleas, as long as you know what that means to you, that's fine. Just make a reference where you know what it means. Then at some point, I mean, there are other ways to do single flavor tests. For example, if you have a good cream base that you like to use, you can add a fruit to it just to taste that fruit, right? Because you know what the cream base tastes like. Now you're just going to taste that fruit. So, yes, Frank, we need to recover. That's for sure.
One thing for new mixers now that we didn't really have, there's these combo ingredients like s'mores or mocha coffee or peach pies and cream. It's like that one flavor, you could almost vape that by itself. And as far as I'm a cheapskate, and to have peach pie with meringue and everything in one flavor, that's nice.
Absolutely.
It's fun being creative, but then it's nice being cheap too.
Yeah, I think, and some of those flavors like that, the combination flavors, you've got to be careful about adding too much to them. Right, you can get by with adding 1 or 2 things to them, but you go adding more than that, it's going to get muddled on you.
Yep.
And it's all going to taste just garbage. I mean, unless that's what you're trying to make, then I guess you're successful. I made some of that this week.
I was mixing with that Mullenberry double mocha coffee, and I added some caramel, this, that, and the other. It was horrible. It was like it'd have been better just to use that one flavor.
That is a nice flavour. I love that.
Yeah.
I've got that in a cheesecake, actually.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Where's my coffee?
Yeah, let's go get your daughter. I'm next drinking the market now.
This ain't right. This ain't right. So, Pat, do you got any questions? Something we can maybe try to answer for you, or you and Aaron working on that pretty well?
We haven't been working yet. We're just sorting things there, but
more than anything,
get to there. Just being here tonight, that's kind of a big step for me.
Oh, good deal.
I'm really shy, and I tend to be alone on my own there. But that's why I'm here. I'm trying to mix some things, and sometimes it's not really tasteful.
Right.
So maybe having a hand with someone that knows a bit more than me, or just being with someone that knows how to mix and just throwing them, hey, have you ever tried that flavor? Do you think that flavor with this could blend together properly? What kind of percentage would you use it? Because that's something that I don't have there, the certain percentage. I know I've tried, it's flavor West Kiwi. I usually don't mind kiwi, but I've mixed it at 2%, and 2% was way too much for me.
Right.
I've mixed it at 0.75% with strawberries, and 1% honeydew. I liked it, but the honeydew just take over the whole bottle there, so need to think. That's some things that at the beginning I had a hard time with because that you mix everything at 3%. That's easy. I take this 3%, this 3%, close the bottle, mix, try it, tastes like shit.
Right. Yeah, we've all done that.
Yeah.
I think I talked about it last week. I started DIYing. My local vape shop actually sells concentrates and PGVG nicotine. And this was my first lesson. Here's your bottle. Put that much in flavoring. That much in flavoring. The rest of it, PGVG nicotine. That was my whole thing. So I go home and do that. Like you, it didn't work so well.
Yeah.
And I started off with just bottles with dripper tops on them. I didn't even have any way to measure it. I was just guessing. A little strawberry, a little banana, a little this, little that, and shake it up. And I got to go buy juice.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've made some strawberry rhubarb, and that's how I've mixed them. Just 3 squirts of this, 2 squirts of that, a little bit of cap sweet, boom, 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 mix it up. And everybody is asking, what is this? That's the bomb. It's so freaking good. And I don't know. Just 2 or 3 squirts of this, 2 squirts of that, mix it up, you don't apply.
I did something similar to that in the beginning. I actually found something in 2013 when I started mixing. And what somebody was doing was they say that you take a syringe and put 5 mils of water in it, right? And you put it in a cup, like a coffee cup. And what you do is you take the flavoring and you put in 1 drop and you mix it around and you put it in your mouth, you swish it around, spit it out, and you get the full flavor of what that's going to taste like. Now, if you did that at that time, and this was back when we had the CE tanks, and ego pens and stuff like that. So basically, 1 drop would equal 5% flavoring, okay, in your mix. If you had to put 2 drops of that in there, that would equal 10%. 3 would be 15%. So every time you added a drop, it would go up 5%. Okay. Now, be in mind, I didn't have Flavor at the time when I was doing that. It was all with One-on-One, Flavor West, TPA, Capella, like that. Um, so it was working for me as a base of how to start mixing. I found somebody online that did a post that said, yeah, just get 5 mils of water in a coffee cup and then do the single drop tests into it with a single flavor. So then I started taking I got a single flavor that worked at a percentage. So then what I did was I grabbed the other concentrate and I did the same thing. I repeated the same thing again and grabbed the second concentrate, added it to it, swirled it around, and taste tested it before I went and mixed it up. It was interesting, and in the beginning it did work. I guess it was an odd way to mix because I don't remember having any calculator around at the time when I first started doing it, and that's how I started mixing. I started mixing by just counting by drops. And you can still do that today. Smoky Blue Dust, teaches about mixing with Flavora and doing it by drops and everything. So there's a definite methodology to that still, as far as going by drops instead of mixing the way we do now. Versus percentages and things. So I mean, there's different schools of methodology and how you mix. The bottom line is there's no wrong way to do it as long as it turns out good and you can replicate what you do. You can duplicate what you do over and over again, then there's nothing wrong with it. So it really doesn't matter how you mix, just as long as it turns out good and you can replicate. So that's the most important part about DIY.
That's why you need to take notes. Notes. That's the key of this industry there. If you don't take notes, there's some big chances that you're gonna make a great recipe, but you won't be able to recreate it again because maybe there was a bit more of strawberry and
Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
yeah,
I think we all have.
no.
Absolutely.
We
I have a
all
book
ended
right
up
on my
goofing up like that.
I keep a hard copy.
What have you been mixing up there, Steve?
So basically, what I did was I went with an all flavora recipe.
I hate you already.
So what I did was the idea was a chocolate milk with caramel mixed in. So what I did was Flavora's caramel at 0.5%, milk chocolate by Flavora at 0.5, and I wanted to throw in a little bit of sweet cream with that, make it a little, creamy, sweet, 0.5%, and 0.5% of Flavora's white chocolate. So that as you've seen, I've been going away at it on this. And, yum. Because I know chocolate and caramel works together, obviously.
Dennis J, what town was that passed in? He said they just passed a law there where you or a passenger cannot vape in a moving vehicle.
He said Modesto. I seen it. This was like a year or two ago. Ohio, you could get distracted driving if they seen you vaping while driving.
I've never had a problem. Now, there for a while in California, you wasn't supposed to. They said that as truck drivers, we could not smoke in our trucks. It was our business,
Yeah.
our place of business, and you can't smoke at a place of business in California.
Yeah.
That didn't last too long.
I gotta leave that alone and let it steep. It's not gonna last.
You should have made a bigger bottle, Steve.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to.
I do 20 ml testers.
Yeah, you can't beat it when it comes out to 2% total flavoring and you're just getting massive amounts of like chocolate milk and caramel and cream. It's like, yeah.
That's the thing, and like, I think there's a couple of new people in the chat there. I don't know if they're new mixers, but with the Flavoras, it's dearer to buy, yes, but it works out cheaper in the long run because you use way less.
Hell
All
yeah.
all the super concentrates, like, yeah, you can go and buy TFA or TPA cheap, but you got to use a lot more. So in the long run, it does probably actually cost you more. I've just started on the Flavor train. I got 40 odd sitting there, and I'm waiting for some more to come in because I got the wrong ones. Oh, not really the wrong ones, but I'm missing out on a lot of recipes. But yeah, they last longer, and it does work out cheaper.
I'll give you one, Stalker. This one right here is a perfect example. The Flavor vanilla pudding. Now, we all know Fresh uses this in his quick custard, okay? This one bottle, I just refilled it. This one bottle lasted me 1 year. And I know I've mixed that quick custard that Fresh 03 does at least 10 plus times or more. And that one bottle has lasted me a year. And I just now refilled it. So it's value for money.
Yeah,
all day long.
Yeah, I've got that one. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, Smokey could probably answer this, but she's not on the panel. Guess we could send her a link if she wanted to come on to explain it. But I'm curious, right? When you mix an all flavor recipe, you can use super low percentages of flavors. When you use them with other companies' flavors, seems like you need to use the flavor higher. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Anybody on the panel got any opinions about that?
Yeah, I think it's because it basically, it starts diluting the flavor down.
I've never had any issues. I mix it the same percentage all Flavora or with TPA and
Really?
Yeah. And I've made recipes that are only 0.75%, and full flavor.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering though. I just haven't had any luck with that. I always have to go higher when I mix them with other things. But I wonder if that means that we're using the other flavorings too high also, and that's why we have to bump the flavor up. You know what I'm saying? Interesting. I mean, in the end, when you do a recipe, you should use the smallest amount of flavor that you can to get the flavor that you're trying to get.
That's all money.
So
That's like I'm not one that really carries on about the total end percentage. I know there's a lot out there. I don't want to use more than I have to because you mute flavors and there's no point trying pissing the money up the wall. But I go more for flavor. I'm after flavor, and I'm not going to take something out to try and keep it at a set percentage. Whatever's nice is nice.
Well, Smokey. Get that audio going.
I don't. Oh.
But yeah, I'm starting on the super concentrates instead of the standards. I started on real flavour, and then they said they were shutting down, but they're opening in Canada, so that's good. I'm on the Wonder Flavours train and vape train and Flora, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but anyway, I'm Kev. I do it. I pronounce everything freaking wrong.
no, you're pronouncing it all right. Now you need Sasami and Health Cabin.
Health Cabin.
The health cabin's cheap. Medicine Flower, that's the expensive one.
That's
Absolutely.
It.
I don't have any of their flavors, but everybody says that they're well worth it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
One of these days I might find out.
Yeah, I might try one when I'm doing a Nick River order or something, but yeah.
All right, Smokey's having some audio issues, so she might have to leave and then come back in and stuff like that to help answer a few questions and stuff for us.
Yep, cool.
Well, Sage, she's muted on the new one.
There we go.
There you go.
Are.
I have lost the YouTube link. Hold on a second. Yeah.
I'll shoot you the link. There's the YouTube link there, Smokey.
Hold on.
No worries. You're good.
Are we good now? Yay! Hey, I'm on there twice now. What's up with that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You're just
Double
that
trouble.
good, Smokey. One little box couldn't hold you.
I'm telling you.
Either that or multiple personalities. Take your pick.
Hey, well, we won't go there.
Easy now. I'll get my yo-yo out and start playing.
Well, welcome, Smokey. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a good night tonight. It really is.
It is. It's raining here, but I sleep good when it rains. So
Yeah, it's been rainy all day today.
yeah.
Okay. The reason why you have to use more Flavora mixed in a standard recipe, let's just call it that.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you have different compounds. And it's kind of like NASCAR. They're all fighting for pole position.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
It does. It
and then
does.
To a pit stop, because of the way that the ultra flavors are compounded, they're so delicate. People just don't realize it. Even the standard flavors, their compounds are delicate. And when you get people that are coming off of smoking or they want to pick up vaping, but maybe their dietary needs, their DNA, okay, their body says that the flavor is missing and they need to raise it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
They raise their flavors up, not realizing, hey, if we started lower, we probably could have tasted it to begin with.
Right.
I meet a lot of people like that.
You mean like me?
Yeah, like you.
I've been trying to do raspberry and cream, all Flavora, for about 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite 6 months. I've tried using them low. I've tried using them high. I've tried everything that I can think of. Now, what I've been using is the red raspberry, the regular raspberry, Flavora cream,
Mm-hmm.
and either milk and honey or their caramel. One of the two.
Okay.
But the raspberries don't want to stand up to that cream for me.
That's a body chemistry issue.
So I'm just broken.
Have a shower.
Actually, there's a way to strengthen that.
I'm listening.
Well, you got any strawberry?
I do not have any Flavora strawberry yet.
Yeah, I need to get some strawberry and try doing a 0.8% red raspberry and a 0.6 strawberry. You want to layer those because what it's going to do is they're going to bounce off of each other.
Right.
They're going to give you a semblance of red raspberry.
Gotcha.
Because you've got the red raspberry higher. Now, if you flipped it and put strawberry at 8.8 and red raspberry at 0.6, it's going to strengthen the strawberry.
Okay, and if I was going to use Flavora cream in that, what would I put that in at?
Well, if your highest fruit is 0.8, you would stick that at like 0.6. You don't want to overwhelm the fruit.
Oh,
because
right.
What creams do is they kind of mellow it out. They tend to cut that flavor in half. Does that make any sense?
It does.
When on the inhale and you've got a 2 flavor, one's fruit, one's cream, you're going to end up getting the fruit on the inhale if it's at a higher percentage of the cream. If you keep the cream low, then it's going to come in at front, and then on the exhale, your fruit's going to come in.
Well, I will give that a try because I can make just about, it still takes me some time, but anything else I can pretty much come up with. I can figure that out. But all Flavora has just been frustrating me.
Now, the other thing you do have to watch out for is your drops per mil.
So you have it set as 50 instead of 20, right?
ELR standard is either 25 or 35 drops per mil, and that's not right.
I think I have mine set at 20.
It should be 50 for all Flavora.
Okay.
And the reason why you'll notice if it's correct, if you look at your grams or your drops and your mils, you should be able to divide one into the other by 2 or multiply them by 2 to get your mil.
But that's only if it comes in the original Flavora bottles, though, isn't it?
That's actually pretty much any tip that Flavora uses.
Yeah.
and they are commonly rebottling them with the same type tips.
Well,
That's pretty much standard.
over here we get them rebottled in the bottles like this.
Let me see the tip. Show me the tip.
It's
That's
just
just what she said, ain't it?
It's just what I said. I want to see the tip.
it's just like a normal squirter bottle tip. And we also get them in these bottles.
Yeah, Fidelgo has the same thing. I mean, if they look like the Flavora tips, you're fine.
Yeah, they're not
This is a perfect
That's
example.
fine, Stalker. That's fine, Stalker. Yeah, that's fine. Those are 0.0 gram drippers. Yeah,
we also get them in
those
these
tips are
bottles.
fine.
These two are different, though.
Yeah.
Well, the best way to try it out is, like I said, take your tips and get a clean bottle, put them on your scales.
Good on you, Fidago.
Yeah, that one does look a little different, doesn't it? Yeah. Exactly. Simon's right. Just weigh the drop that you get and see how much you get. Work with what you've got. Know how to work with what you've got.
Work it, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's Fal's tongue.
Yeah.
All right.
Because here's the thing. If you're going to use those bottles all the time, then you're fine. And the best way to do it is if your tips are bigger than the standard Flavoras, then go ahead and count out how many drops is in a mil. Put that in your recipe.
What about this, what is it? Pacific Gravity Weight or whatever it's called? What's that called?
Specific
It
gravity.
is specific gravity.
Specific gravity, yeah.
Yeah. Don't most of them go on that, on the ELO? I didn't think they did by drop. They did the...
I don't do specific. I don't do manufacturer.
Okay.
My drops are like this. 1 drop equals 0.02 G. Okay. And if I use 3 drops, then that would be 0.0.
6.
Let me see here. Hold on a minute. I'm doing my mouth now. Come on. Hold on. 0.06 G. See what I mean?
Yeah, Simon has a good suggestion in that too. He said if you weigh a few drops, right? So put some drops in a bottle on a scale that's been tared out. If you write down how many drops that you put down and what those drops weighed, then that'll help you.
Graham, it will make a difference in your mixing. I can promise you.
Yeah, what I mixed up came out pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Chocolate,
I mean, once
caramel,
you've
milk.
got everything set correctly, you're not going to have a big deal making your juice.
No.
Smokey, if I take one drop of every flavor that I have and put that in a bottle, what will it taste like?
It depends on what flavors you've got. It could come out like shit.
That's going to be my guess.
So Smokey, you obviously you mix by drops, not weight. Then
I do mix by weight. In order to get my recipes up on ELR, I have to convert my drops to weight.
okay,
So you might as well say I mix by weight.
rightio.
The good thing about
Just
it,
don't put gas in my car by drops, okay?
Simon, and
I'll have to look into that.
cinnamon because I don't have rich cinnamon.
No, I do.
Put-
I love
That's
it.
a big issue. Rich
Put-
cinnamon is some of the best
Four
stuff in the industry.
4 drops in a 10 mil there, Mike.
Yeah, I've
No. more like 1 drop at a 10 mil. Unless you want
I've
your
got-
honey on fire the next day.
Warm it up a little bit.
I've got Smokey's old cinnamon though, and she said that that's close.
Yeah, it's close, but I'm gonna be honest. That stuff should be expired by now.
Looks like cinnamon and smells like cinnamon.
Yeah, but how's it look? If it's melting at all, you need to dump that shit.
Oh yeah, no. I always look at them before I use it. If it even smells,
That's been long since you got cinnamon from me. Hey, hippie.
Hey, hippie.
Yeah, hippie vapes. How you doing, buddy?
Hippie vapes. Oh, hippie put out a video today.
Yeah, I caught that this morning.
Apple
Been to bed.
cranberry. Oh my god,
Mixing
that
some
flavor
apple
smells
pie.
heavenly.
I need to get that flavor.
Ooh.
I'm really picky when it comes to apples.
I don't think you
I
go
like
wrong with that one.
I like the flavor of apple filling. I've got to let it steep for a little bit to let the cinnamon die out just a little for me. But I do like that flavor. But just a basic apple flavor, I haven't found any that I like.
There you go.
And I guess like is a bad word to use. I get bored with them really easy.
Me too.
Right? If I make an apple vape that's just supposed to be apple, I take 3 or 4 pulls off of it and I'm done. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, the two that I most commonly put together that I liked, but I agree with you, I get bored of it very quickly, is FA Fuji apple, and then the Beryllium Country apple. So I mix those two together, and it makes a great apple. They pair really well together. But yeah, just like you, I get bored of apple pretty quick, and yeah, I just kind of go away from it.
Denise Fresh was talking about today on his show. Some of these flavors will last for a really long time. It just depends. You have to store them correctly. And as Smokey was saying, any kind of discoloration, not them getting darker. We're talking like anything that resembles a mold. If you've used the flavor before and you smell it, I usually smell my flavors before I use them. If they smell off, if they don't smell like I remember them smelling, then
if the bottle has any dips or anything.
Yeah. Any bottle that has crystals in it, some of the flavors will crystallize. Shake the bottle up real good. If that doesn't work, run it under some hot tap water out of the sink and try to shake it. If they don't dissolve, I would not use that flavor.
Hippie's just said 4 to 6 years, he thinks.
Yeah. And it all depends. I mean, if you use things like I do, like Flavor West Yellow Cake, to me, the longer that sits, the better it gets.
Yeah, Fresh has got a real old bottle of that, and it's dark as.
Yeah, my bottle is almost as dark as Fresh is. That's one of the first that I bought.
Yeah, and they say one not to keep for a long period of time is Capella Sugar Cookie because it dies off.
Yeah, they're saying 6 months.
Yeah, but that's not that it goes bad. It just loses its flavor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't taste the same. So you can get a bottle in today and mix a recipe with it and vape it. 2 months from now, you're going to mix the recipe exactly the same way. It's not going to taste the same because that flavor has died off in that bottle.
Well, so Stevo and I are stuffed from the beginning because the bottles, if we're buying in Australia, they're probably 6 months old before we even get them.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering.
My own sugar. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, what I like is Chef's actually puts a date on theirs,
Yeah.
and they tell you when to use it by.
That's cool.
I was looking through some notes on ELR today, and there's a couple people on there that mentioned in their notes when they bought the flavor, which is kind of smart, right? Because they can always go back there and look at when they bought that flavor.
Yep.
It's on ELR.
I just keep a history of my orders in my emails. I put it like a special folder for things I've ordered, and then that way I know exactly when I ordered them, when I got them.
I wonder if you've got in Flavora Capella sugar cookie and moved it into a glass bottle.
If that would make a difference.
Yeah.
Not really.
Because, I mean, you're still going to have to uncap it every time that you use it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to do you any good.
The opening in the glass bottle is going to be bigger than the opening in a dripper tip.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't make a difference. Does anybody in chat have any questions for Smokey or the panel? Or does anybody on the panel have any questions for Smokey since he's here?
Love you, Smokey.
That's
Thank you.
Well, Smokey, anytime that you want to come on, you're more than welcome, dear.
Well, thank you, darling. I will take advantage of that.
Okay, I'm gonna be doing an eggnog and a pumpkin bread. Definitely the pumpkin bread because that's for Court, and gotta keep her happy.
I did use the
Did I get
eggnog with the
anything
pumpkin spice.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. You were talking.
Yeah, I used the eggnog with the pumpkin spice by Flavora. That was good.
Cool. Yeah, should I get anything should I get the pumpkin spice and the pumpkin bread?
I like them both. They both have their purposes.
Yeah.
The
Or could I use
bread is more like the crust of a pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Okay. It's really good to use in just about all kinds of stuff. It's versatile, so don't be scared to not pick it up.
Okay. So I was figuring pound cake.
It would be good in pound cake. It would be good with cookies.
Okay, yeah.
Like cookies and cream with extra cookie and pumpkin bread and some pumpkin spice. You've got it made.
Nice.
Lembas bread.
If you're going to be picking up Flavora, Aaron, their ginger snap is really good too. It goes well with the eggnog and that pumpkin bread and all that.
I think I had that one picked out too, actually. I don't have any kind of ginger.
You might want to check out my other group, Aaron.
I'm sorry?
You might want to check out my other group.
Bottles Up and Flavora Fan Club? Or
I'm there. I actually won 10 flavors, so
I'm on the fan.
And guess what? We've got another contest coming up.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Steve,
we've got another contest coming up for Halloween, and I'm so excited.
Steve, can you put a link to Smokey's group in the chat?
Yep.
People that want to learn about Flavora can go over there. She's always posting stuff.
Heck to the app.
Yeah, just post up the Flavora fan group, unless you want me to. Oh, I can't. I ain't got a wrench.
That's fine. You want Bottles Up there as well?
Nope.
Okay.
That's a very private group. I don't advertise it at all.
Smokey, if you'll put something in chat, I'll give you a wrench. You deserve one.
Post.
There you go.
I'm really interested in doing an apple cider too. That's like the only alcohol I can drink.
Okay, hold on. I just lost Facebook. Here we go.
I got the Facebook link already put up there for you, Smokey.
Okay.
Sugar Plum, how you doing?
Hey, you've been seeing Sugar Plum around. Yeah, hi, welcome.
and everybody too, Stalker went through earlier and added on our ELR page. The link to that is in the video description. But he went through and followed some mixers. So if you're a new mixer looking for people that you can trust, you can go look and see who we follow in there. And those are people that we trust their recipes. Because I know when you're new to, it's hard to decide what's a good recipe and what isn't.
And it really depends on what you're shooting for as well. I mean, like, what kind of flavor profiles do you enjoy? What do you like? Yeah. I think that was the hardest thing that I found when I first started. It's like, well, trying to associate with what I like in real life and then realizing that it doesn't quite translate into the vape world. Exactly.
Absolutely.
A lot of things don't. Flavora's root beer does, though. I mean, damn, that's like spot on root beer candy. Then I hear two very accurate flavors are like TFA fruit circles for Fruit Loops and Capped Silverline fruit circles or something, I think they call it.
Yeah, fruit circle.
Those are pretty damn accurate. Yeah, I got to say, those are pretty damn accurate. And I'm sure there's a bunch more that actually do translate, but the majority of it really kind of doesn't.
Yeah, Graham, I would like to take credit for that idea, but that actually somebody that was in a chat on one of the shows asked us how they knew who to follow. So we figured out that was a way to do it, to find trusted mixers.
I just filled my tank. No.
Stalker, you didn't link to Frank, did you?
Nah.
Okay, we can't trust him. Don't trust us, so we can't trust him.
That's it. It goes both ways.
Graham, you don't. My opinion, Graham, I don't care for circles. I think they're really lemony to me as compared to the cap fruit circles. They're not as lemony. But I know, I think Hippie has a recipe. He used, has one, it's fruit circles with milk that Hippie used in his cereal recipe. And I actually like that one. So maybe you just got to put enough milk with the regular fruit circles. Or do Graham's trick and add some Flavor West blueberry to it. That actually works pretty well when you add them with the Fruit Loops at Flavor West blueberry at like 0.5%. It does change the way that tastes.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of eggnog with Irish cream. But do you think it would need any other booze? Or do you think the Irish cream would be strong enough where you wouldn't have to add like more bourbon or rum or something?
Well, it depends on whether you wanted it spiked or not.
It's eggnog. I mean,
I did a spiked eggnog with a light rum, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas already. It ain't even Halloween yet, but
right.
Yeah. So what I did with it was Flavora's eggnog, Flavora's rich cinnamon, some Flavora vanilla pudding, and a little bit of VTA light rum for a spiked eggnog.
Nice.
I'll throw that out there in chat for anybody that may be interested in having a look at that one. That turned out pretty damn yummy.
Yeah. We're going to start winding this down here in a minute, but before I forget, I'm going to start doing a new intro every month for the show, and that intro will run for the whole month. So November, we've got Thanksgiving, it's fall, it's kind of family and friends and that kind of time of year. So anybody that would be interested, if you want to send me a picture of yourself, blowing a cloud or with your family or whatever, that's what I'm going to use for the intro for the month of November is pictures of the Vape family. So you can, I'm going to put a post in our Facebook group. You can leave them there. You can send them to me private message. Send them to me in an email, however that you want to get them to me. But if y'all get them in, we'll use them. Otherwise, I got to come up with something totally different. That's going to suck. I'm going to make Stalker a scarecrow and Aaron a pumpkin.
That works.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'll blow a cloud on my family.
I didn't say blowing a cloud on your family.
Oh, well, they like how it smells. I've had people look at me like evil for vaping, but then be like, that smells so good. It's like,
right?
Because it's open.
Right. Where's the donuts? Right here. Right here.
I just put in my tropical donut, and it does use tricks.
Hello.
Graham,
I'm missing every single one of those.
Go mix, Graham. Ahead. I triple dog dare ya.
All right. Well, let's get ready to get out of here. Let's go around the room. I will say beforehand, Patrick, man, thanks for joining us. Great having you.
It was a pleasure.
You did good for a first show. And as Graham pointed, your audio is great for the first time being on a show or doing anything like this. That usually doesn't happen.
Normally doesn't, no.
So, and to any other new people that would like to come on the show, let us know. As you can see, we don't bite.
Not much.
Yeah, not much.
Not too hard.
So, if you like it hot.
Stalker, where can people find you?
I'm on here, on ELR on the Stalker, on ATF, on Kev Shell, Facebook on Kev Shell Vapes On, and on Discord on the Stalker. I'm in the usual Discord groups. But yeah, that's about all places I travel.
Right. Who you want to throw it to?
Let's go to the new fella.
Okay. I'm
here.
It's kind of hard. Well, I'm following pretty much everyone. I usually hang out in pretty much with Fresh. I've been following Vaping Trucker for some time now. I'm popping in here and there when I do actually have the time. I do assist a lot of lives with Vapin Pagan, TVC, all of those guys there just for hardware reviews, and sometimes they're nuts and it's funny.
I like him.
Yeah.
And he's got red hair.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. I'm on Facebook, so
all right, good,
Patrick, and
good deal. Who do you want to go next?
I would say Lizard.
Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. Me and Stevohhh do Down the Rabbit Hole mixing. I'm the Vaping Lizard on ELR. and I'm pretty much hanging out and chat, watching other vape shows and hardware shows, Jay Hayes and whatnot. Stevohhh?
Yeah, so you find me as Stephen O. I'm trying to get everything in line with my name across everything. So I changed it on ELR, I changed it on here, trying to change it on Facebook, but I left the N on the end. Like a dumbass. But yeah, so you'll find me hanging out here down the rabbit hole, hanging out with Tam sometimes, Homegrown Alchemy, and friends. Uh, Sometimes I hang out with Daytime Frank, so mixing in the kitchen after dark. Don't forget about that show either. So lots of great shows and content out there, guys. So yeah, right on over to Smokey.
My phone just whistled at me. Whoops. I guess you can find me under Smoky Blue everywhere.
Absolutely. If y'all want to learn how to make some all flavor recipes, y'all go check out Smoky stuff. Stalker, if we didn't add her to our follow list, we need to add her. Smoky Blue. And yeah, y'all, the panel, man, thanks for y'all being here. More importantly, thanks to the chat. Thanks for all y'all hanging out. Basically, if you all wasn't here, there would be no reason for us to do a show. We could hang out privately and be drinking or whatever that we get around to doing. But anyway, so go check out Daytime Frank's show. The link is in the description. He's on at 9 o'clock tonight. And outside of that, y'all, stay safe. Keep on trucking. Keep on vaping.
Right on.
Bye.